The Bosphorus Diplomacy Forum took place on the initiative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey. The overarching agenda of the committee was the exploring diplomatic solutions to prevent the collapse of the Cypriot state and maintain regional stability amid evolving governmental tensions. The meeting was presided by the representative of Turkey and attended by the government representatives of People's Republic of China, Arab Republic of Egypt, Federal Republic of Germany, French Republic, Greek Cypriot Administration, Hellenic Republic, Republic of India, Italian Republic, Non-Aligned Movement, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Socialist Republic of Romania, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Soviet Union, Syria, Turkish Cypriot Administration, Turkey, United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. The following are the primary concerns addressed during the forum. Noticing the lack of provisionality in the Treaty of the Guarantee and the necessity of adding articles acknowledging the rights and roles of guarantor powers. Having considered the paramount danger of the armed groups, illegal weaponizing, and the weapon trafficking in the island that affects society and the forms of lack of transparency. Aware of the fact that current government system is unstable and lead the country to deadlock situations. Alarmed by the ethnical issues among the society and calls for the education and raising awareness in order to inform and teach people their rights and their new system of government which acknowledges of the rights of both states.
The official statements issued by the countries participating in the forum are as follows. Current situation. The Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot administration are deeply concerned about the ongoing bias situation among the guarantor powers, the United Kingdom, the Hellenic Republic, and Turkey, which led to an immediate action in renewing the related clauses in the Treaty of Guarantee. Hellenic Republic, Federal Republic of Germany, Islamic Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus emphasizes the necessity of ensuring that every nation in the region are able to live in peace without having security concerns about armed groups that can violence and abuse society's right of security, privacy in order to obstruct the illegal weaponizing and weapon trafficking in the island, particularly by irregular armed groups, and acknowledging people about the transparency of the weapons that can cause significant damages and undermine the stability. Republic of Turkey, United States of America, People's Republic of China, and non-aligned movement are deeply concerned about the instability that is caused in parliament with the reason of inequality about the percentages that is actually 70% from Greek Cypriot administration and 30% from Turkish Cypriot administration that leads Turks to lose their beliefs in diplomacy, takes them out of decision-making mechanisms, and cause tension in the region. The Greek Cypriot administration, the Turkish Cypriot administration, and the Hellenic Republic are deeply disrupted by the tension increasing between the societies of the Turkish Cypriots and the Greek Cypriots, which have raised the needs of the proper education regarding the new governmental system and raising awarenesses among the societies in order to decrease the tension and maintain peace.
The Treaty of Guarantee. The Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot administrations have emphasized the importance of equality among every guarantor countries, leading the action of adding a new clause to the Treaty of Guarantee that acknowledges the roles of the guarantor powers and having ensured rights that allows them to help both states in humanitarian aid if needed. The Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot calls for an immediate action against any guarantor powers that breaks the laws or the renewed Treaty of Guarantee involving economic and diplomatic consequences under the supervision of UNFICYP. System of government. Republic of Turkey, the Hellenic Republic, and United Kingdom, and both the Turkish and Greek Cypriot administrations accepted the new governmental system that is proposed by People's Republic of China, which dividing current parliament into two parliaments, which one of them having 70% Greek and 30% Turks, being elected to parliament that is using exercise legislative power in ministry and decision in Ministry of Family and Social Services, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Sport, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Health, and the second one that is having the parliament percentage 50-50 that is exercise legislative power in ministry and decisions of foreign affairs, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Natural Resources, Ministry of Defense, and both sides have veto rights. Security, Hellenic Republic, Federal Republic of Germany, Islamic Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus encourages member states of United Nations Security Council to convene in order to United Nations peacekeeping forces in Cyprus to strengthen their mandate by having permission to move Chapter 7 light mandate. The United Nations will be responsible for auditing the transport ship and confiscate to illegal weapons. United Nations will also be responsible for writing a report about the weapons in the island. Ethnical issues. Hellenic Republic, Federal Republic of Germany, Islamic Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus supports the arrangement of seminars that will be emphasizing the coexistence, cultural unity, the new system of government that brings peace to society and peace among Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots. Attendance will fulfill a survey upon their opinions for the other ethnical groups in the island at the end of the seminars. A report will be written by United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus according to the result of the survey.
The insufficiency of the Treaty of Guarantee. The Treaty of Guarantee, which was signed in 1960, was aiming to stabilize the Cyprus region and in order to decrease the rising tensions between the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots. However, during the time, it was clear that the guarantor countries started to choose sides rather than staying neutral and aiming to stabilize the region and maintaining peace, which resulted in an extreme tension between the states of Cyprus. This incident shows that the guarantor powers should be limited and that the specific clauses from the Treaty of Guarantee should be added in order to ensure the powers and the roles of the guarantor countries to prevent any future crisis. The neglect of the island's security. From the escalation period of the island in 1960, there were rebellions, genocides, massacres, and conflicts between the Turkish and Greek Cypriots, particularly in the 1974 EOKB TMT operations and the Bloody Christmas incident. The humanity was facing turmoil and chaos. They were not able to live in peace. International platforms, including North Atlantic Treaty Organization and the United Nations, were not effective. The powers of the guarantor countries were not defined as a result of this. Instead, the guarantor powers were using their army in the island, which was leading societies into more chaos.
The governmental system. The governmental system was unequal and unstable in the advance of the Greek Cyprus with 70% of the parliament. On the other side, Turks attend the parliament with just 30%, which just leads to Turkish Cypriots to not participate in the management of the island, and that caused tension in the whole island. However, if the guarantor powers and the administration of the Turkish and Greek Cypriots would try to solve this problem with diplomatic ways, instead of carrying this situation with aggression, with the way of diplomatic aspects of chaos could agree. The lack of support from other countries. During the 1960s, it was clear that only guarantor countries were involved in the situation other than Cyprus, which was leading to clear the image that until UNFICYP was found, no other countries were involved in the matter, which was leading to an internal crisis. In order to maintain peace back in the day, the significance of the international discussions upon the crisis was clear and needed to be ensured. Since only the participation of the guarantor powers was not good enough, the need for international involvement was certain.
Ethnical identities. Cyprus is a multicultural island that contains different societies, particularly from Greeks and Turks. There was a variety of ideologies in the island as Inasis and Taksim, which supports whether the partition of the island or unity of the island with Greece. As a result of these ideologies, these nations were competitive to each other rather than being in a peaceful environment as Cypriots. There were not any long-term solutions to ensure the peace among the societies. General assessment. The tensions between the Greek and Turkish Cypriots were increasing rapidly due to the government system, which was unequal, and the rising tensions between the guarantor countries has led to a bigger conflict. International platforms and organizations were not effective to maintain peace in Cyprus, which led to an internal war. The ongoing bias and tensions resulted in isolating the two states and the lack of a long-term solution which would have stabilized the region.